What is my offer so good people would feel stupid saying no? It's going to be, I'm going to deliver my highest tier exterior detail everything, clean, protect, add wax, all that stuff to the vehicle completely for free. So all you got to do is say you want it and book the service. That's it. And I'll come deliver my greatest service right to your doorstep.
Good morning, everybody. It's 9 a.m. on Wednesday, and that means it's time for 1 Million Cups. So all across the nation, entrepreneurs are gathering, and we're glad to see you all here. The first thing to say is please check in. Point your phone at that QR code or one of the ones on the cards that are around the room, and you'll be directed to the Million Cups website where you can check in, and that will let the Kauffman Foundation know that we're alive and well, and we're still active. And there's something in it for you, because if you check in on 3 separate times, you'll get a Million Cups pen. 6 times gets you the coveted Million Cups notebook. So don't miss out, folks. All right, here's our mission. Our mission is to make it possible for entrepreneurs to succeed. We lower the barrier of access to education, resource, and connection for entrepreneurs all across the United States. And how do we do that? We do that by covering the text. We work to the mission by creating a program. The Kauffman Foundation trains the organizers and trains the organizers to coach the presenters so that we adopt a more or less standard format. And if you go to a Million Cups somewhere else, you'll immediately recognize the format. The questions are similar, just all the people are different. So every community is unique, has its own strengths. And we know a lot about what we're good at here in Albuquerque, and we see a lot of that in here. We are the #1 1 Million Cups instance in New Mexico, and we achieve that through having a small denominator. There are other instances across the Southwest, and I've actually been to some of them, and it's really true. You walk in and you're like, oh, yeah, it's a different place, but I understand the format and I understand what's going on here. So I encourage you to do that if you're on the road and it's 9 a.m. Wednesday and you don't have an appointment. Go in and meet some friends. Okay, here's the key pillars of 1 Million Cups. These are presentations, not pitches. And we make that distinction because in a pitch, typically you're trying to raise money. Your company has the perfect team, the perfect idea, the invulnerable moat, all that stuff. And the only thing standing between you and ringing the opening bell on the NASDAQ is cash, right? And we understand inside a business, things are different. There's usually something on fire, and you know, you're shorthanded and you're being asked to do things you don't know how to do. And who do you talk to about that? Well, you can't talk to the investors, can you? Because they'll just go to somebody that seems to know what they're doing. So you come here and you talk about your challenges, talk about your vulnerabilities, and the community is there to help. A lot of people have gone through exactly what you've gone through before. It's just kind of secret until you start talking to them. And then they'll help you out. And if they can't, they might know somebody who can. So that's how it works. And these are authentic connections, not networking. It's not a contest to see how many business cards you can pass out in 30 seconds. We're here to be here week after week to have some conversations at the edges of these events, get to know people, get to know what they know, and move your business forward. We're run for the community, by the community. All of the organizers are volunteers. We are not masochistic altruists. We all get something out of it. If you want to talk to me about what I've gotten out of it over the years, I'd be glad to talk to you about it. We're radically and intentionally inclusive. All kinds of people are welcome. All kinds of entrepreneurs are welcome. All kinds of businesses are welcome. This goes for mom and pop brick and mortar operations. It goes for whiteboard companies that might have got a little bit of external money. And it goes for people that have almost gone all the way and drop in to show us how it's all done. So everybody's welcome here as long as they contribute to educating other entrepreneurs. So that's a mission statement. I'm not going to read it to you all. It's lonely being an entrepreneur, but you're not alone in this community. And part of the bargain is you have to be helpful. You have to understand the mission is education. And, you know, sometimes somebody might say something that you strongly disagree with, and that might be an opportunity for you to keep your opinion to yourself. All right, so it's easy to present. If you have a for-profit business defined as a business that sells goods or services for more than it costs to produce them, you are eligible to present at 1 Million Cups. We'll assign you a coach. We'll nudge you along the way to bring out, the clarity of your presentation. And I think people who have presented here in the past can say it's been a worthwhile experience for them. Okay, here's our team. I'm Paul Sauter with Equiseek. Lisa Atkins is here with FatPipe. Eric Rins-Whitmore is probably lurking online somewhere. Danielle's here. And Sandia is out doing something important. She's online, all right. And Keiko and Oscar are probably filming people's family histories right now. But you can talk to any of us about doing a presentation and pick one of us for your coaches. All right, we are very glad to be able to thank our sponsors. First and foremost is FatPipe. We've been here for 10 years at no cost. This community could not exist without FatPipe as a sponsor. Dry Heat Photography, making us look great online. Thank you so much. The question is, what are you going to do when you present? Who's going to take pictures of you?
I wondered about that.
Yeah,
I was gonna volunteer. Okay.
Okay. So great photos for everyone else and a few casual snaps for you. More than organized, Miriam Ortiz-Pino, organizing your stuff, your thoughts, and providing creamer. Foundation for Sustainable Living, providing us with coffee. Wow, that's a new one. Beyond Energy. Somebody want to tell me who they are? What do you? Oh, there you are.
Come on up, Steve.
Yeah, come on. Tell us about Beyond Energy.
Hi, everybody. So a friend of mine is a doctor at Presbyterian Hospital in Ross. He's a hospitalist, and he came up with this energy drink. It's called Beyond Energy. It's got the same ingredients as Celsius, but it's got this different herb. It's called gluten-free. It's out of India. So I'm bringing a case each week. And then if you know any convenience stores or health spas or anything that would like to carry the drink, I appreciate the referral. So thanks so much.
Well, entrepreneurs need energy, so we'll be sure to check that out. Noventum Custom Software, making software that doesn't suck and providing donuts. Minuteman Press for all your ink on paper needs, and the cards with the QR code are from them. So thanks to all our sponsors, and thanks for joining us, and we'll hand it off to our coach.
Come on up, Santi. Most of you, some of you have seen Santi present in the past. He's here to give us an update. He's our favorite car detailer. The reason I love Santi is because he comes to the Bioscience Center and sets up his little outdoor car cleaning configuration and cleans cars for people. So, and we'll set up an event in April, but I'm going to hand it over to you while I get your slides ready.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Welcome, guys. I guess since we got a little time, I guess I'll start off with, I want to just thank you guys for being here. This is a great opportunity. People coming together. One of the most, I think, valuable things about this group is bringing people together. It's not, at least in the sense of growth, it is not 1 + 1 = 2. It is a nonlinear curve. It is very exponential. And so when we bring more people together, we can 5, 10, 100x our ideas and our solutions. So thank you guys for being here. As Lisa said, my business is Sandia Shineco Mobile Detailing. Can you click the screen? There we go. So yeah, thanks for coming. My name is Santi. Santiago is my full name. Owner, operator, still the wearer of all hats at Sandia Shineco. Sandia Shineco's mobile auto detailing services. What does that mean? Fundamentally, I clean and protect your vehicles from the convenience of your home or your office. I have some other services like polishing, headlight restoration, interior shampooing, all that stuff, but fundamentally clean and protect your vehicle. So I'm actually going to break the typical format a little bit. I'm going to talk about my challenges, the last challenge I had when I was here, when I presented, what has happened since then, what's my current challenge, and then how I'm going to try to address it. So moving forward, there she goes. Previous challenge was ignorance debt. What do I mean by ignorance debt? It's up here on the screen. It really means I don't have the knowledge to accomplish the things that I want to accomplish, yet. And so it's one of those kind of weird elusive ones that is kind of like health or good relationship. It's something that I'll always have, but it's something that I can keep chipping away at. So in the context of chipping away at it, here's some stats since the 31st of May, which is when I last presented, and how I've been chipping away at it, getting reps in. I've completed 131 jobs, generated just over 30,000 in revenue. I've added over 69 reviews to Google. I've added 2 more recurring clients. And the bottom one here is my quotes. I've issued 175 quotes, converted 87, which is about a conversion rate of 49.7%. This slide isn't to brag and talk about, oh, look at what I've done. In a sense, it's to say that like I've been getting those reps in and chipping away at that ignorance debt since then. My current challenge is lead flow consistency. Given the type of work I do, there is a bit of seasonality to it. But even that in my year and a half of being in business has been inconsistent. Last year, like January and December were insanely low for leads and work. This year it was October, and January and December were pretty busy. So there's some of that, but I want to develop, instead of having the inconsistency of leads and jobs and feeling frantic and worrying about how I'm going to pay my bills and survive, I'd like to figure out how to basically systematize it and have some more consistent leads. Here's a sense of how I'm breaking the format. I'm going to let you guys know how you can help me now. So what I'm going to do for the rest of this presentation is share with you some context and how I'm planning on addressing my lead flow consistency challenge. And I want you guys to take some notes, break it down, try to break this plan and poke holes in it, because as I roll it out, I'd like to kind of identify those ahead of time and maybe compensate for them before I run into them. And so that's one way that you guys can be insanely helpful for me. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, let's move forward. So what am I going to do about it? And by it, I mean my lead flow consistency. A little bit of context before I tell you exactly how I plan on doing it. I came across this system that Tom Bilyeu teaches called the physics of progress. I don't have enough time to really get into it, but write that down, take a note of it, look up the physics of progress by Tom Bilyeu. It's a really cool system. And so number one, hypothesis. What do I believe to be true? What do I think is true? Action items. This is basically your planning phase. So what am I going to do to test my hypothesis? Action is the implementation of the test. What are the actions that I'm actually going to take to test this? And assess is just assess at the end of the time frame, assess, readjust my hypotheses to roll out a better test afterwards. Here's some of the hypotheses that I have. Number one, the physics of progress is correct. I'm operating off of that kind of baseline. The next two, number two and number three, are core to this plan. And I'll bring them kind of more into context as we go through the next couple slides. But number two is hypothesis is that referable services or products are better than non-referable services and products. What I mean by that is it's better in a business to provide a service or a product that people actually like enough to share with other people. I just believe that that's a better way of doing it. Number three is that reciprocity is true. By a show of hands, who knows what the law of reciprocity is? All right, cool. So we have a few hands up, few not didn't come up, so I'm going to explain it, at least what it means for me. The law of reciprocity is that if somebody does something for you or they give you something, you're going to be more likely to agree with a request after they've given you something. So for example, if somebody brought you lunch for no reason, and then after that, later that day or a couple of days later, they asked you to help them move that weekend, you're going to be more likely, not guaranteed, but more likely to say yes to that. Does that make sense? Fair enough, everybody? Cool. So we're going to move forward. This is going to be my actionable items. This is the plan. Number one, make an offer so good people feel stupid saying no. What do I mean by that? I'll give you an example. Say I had a Lamborghini and I told you, I'll give you this Lamborghini for $500. That's a super great offer, because even if you think Lamborghinis are stupid and you never want to drive one, it's still a six-figure asset that you could turn around and sell. Or you love them and you're going to drive around a Lamborghini that you got for $500. Super exciting. 100% would want to do that. What is my offer so good people would feel stupid saying no? It's going to be, I'm going to deliver my highest tier exterior detail everything, clean, protect, add wax, all that stuff to the vehicle completely for free. So all you got to do is say you want it and book the service. That's it. And I'll come deliver my greatest service right to your doorstep. Number two, offer to network groups that have membership. So because this offer is so great and there's the opportunity that it fails and it gets taken advantage of, I don't want to blast it on the internet and on the radio and on the TV all over the place. Inside some of these network groups, I already have some trust built up, some respect built up, and we have some responsibility towards each other, right? So I'm padding my, risk level by starting there, by offering that offer inside those groups. Number three, client-specific solutions. So I got there, I provided the service, I interacted with the client, I worked on the car. At that time, Now I've gathered a bunch of context as a detailer and as a decent human being talking with people. Like, what are these people's pain points more specifically, right? Because I do things like headlight restoration. So when I'm working on the vehicle, I might identify that their headlights are fogged up and we can take care of that. Or their interior is super dirty. We can take care of that. But I have the resources now, having worked on the vehicle and worked with the person, to identify those and provide those solutions that are specifically for them. This part is also where reciprocity comes in, because I've come out and I've given them the service ahead of time, built trust. All the services thereafter are monetized. You got to pay for them, but you're going to be more likely to be like, oh yeah, like, you're a cool guy. You did a good job. You gave me this thing for free. Like, sure. Why don't I pay you to clean the inside of my car? Number 4 action item is systemize leads, right? Because we want to, that's the whole point, is to develop lead consistency. The way I'm going to systematize it is at the end of every service, I'll just ask the client, hey, do you have 2 friends, or do you know 2 people that you would like to give the same free service that you got to today? You can give it to them for free. Just hand it off, right? And this is just compounding the law of reciprocity. And this is where, like, having a referable service is really important. Like I talked about earlier, if it sucks, like, people, even if it was free, they're like, I wasted my time with getting this free car wash. Like, why would I give it to anybody? But if it's super great, they're like, oh, dude, I could give it to my boss. Maybe my boss will give me a raise. I could give it to my wife and she'd be super happy, or whatever. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of the idea there. It's systematized because it's part of a system that I'm developing in order of operations, basically. What is the action? What am I going to do to actually test this and gather the data if this even works? Action item is going to be 100 offers per week. That doesn't mean I'm going to be washing 100 cars a week. I'm going to be offering 100 a week. Whatever the conversion rate works out to be is what it'll be. So maybe like 5 a week or 10 a week, or if it's a 50%, that's 50 a week. That would be an insane amount of work, but that's part of the test. The duration before I start to assess, I'm going to look at doing this for 3 months or until I've completed 100 services, whichever happens first. So at the end of 3 months or 100 services fulfilled, I think I'll have enough context and idea of how to adjust my hypotheses and then reassess and move forward. And so that's basically it. Here's some contact info for me. You can scan that QR to see our Google reviews. We're on Instagram. But I wanted to take a moment real quick to thank 1 Million Cups for organizing this and helping provide this system for us. I'd like to thank Fat Pipe for hosting us here. It's a great space. And like I said, I want to thank you guys, because you guys here online, in person, you are the reason, truly the reason why this stuff is important and why it's valuable and why it's massive for our community. Thank you, guys.
All right, let's form a line and ask questions.
And Richard, enchiladas. That's it. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Paul Sutter with Equity, illustrating both mic technique and introducing your business. So one of the things they try to teach us in business accelerators is to create a customer avatar. And I suspect that people that have their vehicles detailed are different from the average vehicle owner. Have any idea how they're different?
So I have a tendency to struggle with creating an avatar. So I've tried it several times. I'm actually going to meet with somebody to specifically work on avatar creation, actually at 3 today, to kind of help me walk through that, because I have a hard time specifically getting in that mindset. But the things that I have been able to notice, at least with my clients, is typically they're people that have their car they intend to have their car for like 5-10 years. And a lot of the times it's things like Toyota 4Runners, nice Honda Civics, nice Jeeps, and not a ton of like Lamborghinis or crazy stuff like that. It's people who have enough income and they care about their vehicle to keep it for a long time, and they're getting like the premium version of a regular person car, and they want to keep it for the long term. They want to be comfortable. They spend time in their vehicle. And so the reason they care about their car isn't, oh, I just love cars. It's that this car serves me and I want it to serve me and be clean and protected.
Yeah. So one of the things to look for there is some other thing that's correlated with that. that you might be able to use to identify customers. And if your avatar work is successful, you might discover what that is. So good luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey. Miriam Ortiz-Pino, More Than Organized. We've been in a program together before, so I'm gonna push you.
Let's do it.
Stop overthinking your avatar. Just pick one and go with it for a while. And then you'll figure it out. But my comment was about offering it to your networking groups and things. There may not be enough of your avatar in those groups, depending on which ones they are. So who would your second way of partnering? I love that you go to the bio center, but I know I mentioned before law firms or medical groups or something. What have you explored doing that to get your 100 in 3 months?
Yeah, so great question. Unfortunately, because of our time crunch, I wasn't able to get into all that kind of stuff. So I'm glad it came up. So my plan is if I don't have enough in there, then I'm gonna, especially on like days off or anything like that, I'm gonna be reaching out to affluent business centers. So places with like lawyers, realtors, doctors, medical centers, things like that. What that might look like is either just going in and to the front desk and talking to the front desk person and being like, hey, let me watch your car for free. Because it's a long game, right? It's not a short game, and it's not to like make a bunch of money right up off the front. So I offer it there, even to the head person, just whoever's at the desk. And then watch their car. They're stoked, and they're going to be excited to tell their boss about it. Like, hey, this kid watched my, and they're not the like, they might not be the head honcho that always gets the specials and the deals and the cool prizes and stuff. So I think they would really appreciate it.
Yeah.
The other way that I could do it too is I can just find that like head person's contact info and offer it like via social or email, something like that to try to get in. And then from there, we could branch out to doing something like we're doing at the Bioscience Center, where it's like, hey, like, and that could go several different ways. We can either let the people getting their cars detailed pay for it, or the business could pay for it in a sense as like a benefit package to their employees.
Right.
Sorry, that's a lot of stuff. Was that?
No, that's
in line?
great. I want to make sure you had continued thinking that through because you're going to run out of network options and pretty quick.
Yeah, thank you. And also to that point too is like, this is a very aggressive, more so like, at least in my mind, is it's aggressive kind of like market penetration and like branding kind of strategy to get in front of more people. I have a hard time specifically explaining verbally what it is and like why what I do is valuable to people. I guess that's not a good way. It's just the service doesn't fully make sense to people when I try to tell them about it, but when they see it and they experience it and they go through the journey and they see the end result, they're like, oh, this makes sense. And that's literal feedback I've gotten.
Right. So part of that is you're overthinking again. And once you have an avatar and once you nail your offer, the two come together and the communication of said offer to those people becomes really easy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir.
Am I next? Okay. JP, Amazing Life and Enchanted Lands, and I met you before. Santi,
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're an amazing presenter, and it's one of the best concise presentations that I've seen here with just rapid bullet point, procedure. So I had a question about was that net or gross income, the $30,000? And in that explanation, can you explain what your overhead is and like how many employees that you're paying in those details?
Sure. So those numbers were from the 31st of May, and that's top line revenue. So that's everything that came in. When I run my numbers, my margins are about 50%. I work alone currently. So most of my things are going to either systems, softwares, product cost is super, super low. Because you can buy like bulk chemicals and then dilute with water and stuff like that. And so I haven't ran the numbers specifically, but right. So if I was, usually I shoot for $50 an hour. What I've been averaging over the past few months is like $65 an hour. So I think at least a number that I've heard from other service, like home service industry professionals is a labor cost of 1 to 3. And so even a recent example, I had another detailer come and help me because we had to knock out multiple vehicles in one afternoon just because of scheduling. And it took us 3 hours and 40 minutes. So it was about $68 and some change per hour. So I just gave him $20 an hour and split the tip. So even at $20 an hour, we're under or over. I don't know how you would say that. But we're within the 3-to-1 for labor cost. I do anticipate this going. Well, I anticipate this year going well and having to like literally just having to add people to the team. So I'll probably shoot for like that 3-to-1 number. I don't know if that's a fair answer to your question. Those are just some of my thoughts.
Well, so what is your profit? What's the percentage?
50%.
Okay, 50.
Pretty solid, like 50 to 50. But again, that's right now working alone. So it's like, I feel like probably easier, especially when it's labor, easier to get that kind of number. But I did have June and July of last year, I had a couple of guys helping me out and I was paying them. We doubled our work and so the money that I was paying them, like I still made the same. I can't exactly figure out the right equation, but we doubled our work, doubled the cost. So like the business was still doing like netting the same amount. So I think it's just a matter of rolling it out, getting people taught up and efficient to have good numbers when I add a team member. Sorry,
No, great. And so my last question is about how many hours do you average a day and how many days a week are you doing this?
Yeah. So like I said, October was super dry. So I actually picked up some part-time work serving at a Thai restaurant, Thai kitchen. If you guys get a chance, go check it out. I've had to reduce my hours because of how busy I am right now with the detailing stuff. And so we're usually doing one detail 6 days a week. And those details are taking me on average about 4.5 hours. And so I'll go do that. And then in the evening, late afternoon, I'd go into work. So to answer that specifically, it's kind of like a little jumbled up because it's like the entrepreneur grind and making bills and stuff like that and figuring things out. But yeah, so I anticipate, I think it'll be early, like the first season will be just going insanely hard and working as much as I can and maybe doing like 10 or 11-hour days. Especially once the time changes and I have more time and the temperatures are more favorable. But yeah, so I'm usually doing like travel time, stuff like that, 5 to 6 hours and then going to the side job.
Well, I just want to applaud you and I really appreciate you and anything I can do to support. So anyways, I just want to give you a big hand, Santiago, for
Thank you. Thank you so much. Ken, how you doing, sir?
Bless, brother. Good to see you. Ken Jackson, KJ Effect, TKJE podcast. First of all, I want to thank you for doing an interview on my podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
A couple things. So I used to own a detail shop, had 3 employees while I was still working at Intel.
Mm-hmm.
So I taught 1 to clean the inside, 1 clean the outside, and then 1 clean the kitchen. Very simple, basic. But we were doing car dealerships.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we were doing volume at the time. And I'm not saying drop down to that level, but when it comes to wanting to get the volume, you may be able to go ahead and get some of the actual dealerships or we'd always have the manager. The manager of different lots, he would drive one particular car home. So he'd bring that one to us. We would charge more for that particular car. So that may be a way to get the reps in and still generate income. And it's a faster process because, again, they're not looking for major detail. They just want them clean so people can come in and purchase. So a lot of our volume was that way. And then where we could actually charge more was the 1 and 2 cars. And it allowed us, when it came to financial wise, it allowed us to charge more and get less cars charging more because we had the volume on the back end. And I was able to help those kids and they had jobs and everything else. So that's just one idea. As far as targeting, something you mentioned while I was standing there was your avatar and trying to figure that out. Just a suggestion, you'd mentioned people that care more about their vehicles. My first thought were the Uber drivers and the Lyft drivers. Those cars are their business. So it may behoove you to try and target those individuals because their cars mean a lot to them. They'd be willing to pay it. Plus it's a write-off for them. It's work for you. And then those may be the referrals that you can get to other Uber drivers and other Lyft drivers as well. So that may be something that could help you out in the long run.
Yeah.
Fair enough?
Yeah, fair enough.
Right.
I appreciate it.
That's a great idea.
So I had a hard point, and this is just a personal thing. And it like now over time, I'm able to like kind of challenge the belief. But when it came to like dealerships or Uber drivers, and even in some cases, what I've realized with realtors is there are people who care about their vehicles, but I don't know if it's like inflation and cost of living, but they're like, I just want to spend like $50. You know what I mean? And so, but now that I've been doing things, I think it's totally possible. Because so originally I was like, well, I can do one detail and make $300 or have to do 10 to make 300 or like 7 to do 300 and do it like really quick. And so that was some of my thoughts that I had before. Now that I've been spending time with detailing and learning more and having opportunities to be challenged and challenging my thinking that way, I think it's just a matter of like a new offer and then like kind of tweak the detail, and it's totally doable. So I think, thank you for that point. Sir.
My name is Chuck Holman. I'm with CWH Consulting today. And do you have a website?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And have you looked at the national detailing business and what your competition is here locally?
So as far as I've taken that is basically just kind of looking at who else is showing up on social media, just Googling auto detailers. Mm-hmm. This year, I didn't even know I was in it, but I made top 5 for best in the city. Mm-hmm. The one that took number 1 was On the Spot Detail out in Rio Rancho. And there's a few other ones here in town. This market's a little funny because it's like it's a service. The reason I got into it is because it's so easy to start up and start doing. You can start with a few rags, a bucket, and some soap, right? Which is nice to get started, but when it comes to like the competition, there's the like official businesses doing it, and then there's also the market that is, you know, like people doing it on the side for fun. So that's some of my thoughts. What are your thoughts?
Do you have any certifications? There's some national certifications for detailing.
No certification currently, sir.
Okay. Because a lot of your competition does.
Gotcha.
And you might want to look at that. And what is your vision for the year? What is your what do you hope to accomplish this year?
So at least number wise, I'd like to accomplish 100,000 in rev. Mm-hmm. I did like just under 45. So I figure I can double it, which will get us to 90. And I figure what's another 10,000 to hit 100.
Right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you, Santiago?
Good.
It was so great seeing your presentation. I was taking notes and I love the passion and like the organization that you had while presenting it.
Thank you.
And then it made me go to your website and Google. And when I put your company name, car detailing near me, you came 7th in the list.
Okay.
But it really surprised me. You have 5-star review from over 90 customers.
Yes, ma'am.
That is amazing.
Thank you.
So one of the things I remember talking to you in one of the classes we were taking here, I asked you what kind of business you did and you told me about car detailing. So you gave me your card. I'm very visual. Mm-hmm. So I like to see the before and the after mm-hmm. in the type of work that you do. It'll be nice. Do you have like a binder or something that you can show your clients your results? Like before, this was the car that came to me and this is the after. Because many people won't do what I did of going into the mm-hmm. website and checking. So you want to give them something right here and now. These are the results that you're expecting from my, like I do top quality. And like sharing, like I have over 90 5-star Google reviews. That speaks volume because mm-hmm. just by that, people know you provide quality, excellent service. And so that you know, you came to my mind this week. I don't know. I didn't know you were presenting today, but I'm going to help you. So if your goal is to be able to get to at least 10 clients a week, that's mm-hmm. your goal?
Well, to do the offer 100 times. So I tried to break it down to what is something that I have control over. And I don't have control over whether people say yes or no, but I do have control over my offer and how many times I offer it. So whatever the number turns, but yeah, that 10 a week would be cool.
So last year, when you do your numbers, how many did you do per week?
I can't remember off the top of my head. Sorry. Okay. I'd have to look at my reports.
Okay, so you're wanting to target 100K, so do the numbers. How many did you do last year per week? And it gave you 30K revenue. Mm-hmm. So now you know how much you have to do per week to hit that 100K. And maybe that will mean focusing 100% on your business instead of giving your time away to this other company that you're working for. Sometimes we're afraid.
Yeah.
I'm telling you because I'm a nurse and I have my own business, but at the same time, like I like the security of a stable job. But then if you're so passionate about what you do, just put in the, you're all into it and just, I like what you're doing, bringing that value to the networking groups and giving these special offers when we go with you. So I know now that by seeing your presentation, having you in my mind pop up like that. That's a sign. And we're here to help you. And I see you growing exponentially. You have so much potential. So keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa, do we have any online?
No, not yet.
All right.
Yeah, let's go, man.
Doing well, sir. How are you?
Steve, Beyond Energy. I was wondering, is your vehicle branded? Do you have like signage on your car?
Not currently. So something I'm trying to save up for to make happen. I'll give a little bit of context and a little bit of vulnerability. So some of my situation when I started the business, I'd already had like $30,000 in credit card debt. And so that eats up like every month, just right off the top is like $1,000 that's going right out the door. And so I've been like, last year was me like trying to give, kind of like she had mentioned, like 100% to the business and not doing like side work, right? Like the restaurant job. And I think it still served me, but I was still broke, month to month. I don't know how I'm going to make it. So the nice thing about this side work that I did, I sold my van because I had a van before, and then I transitioned to a Honda Element because I think it's funny and it looks cool and it works. So the only bit of branding on there is my top 5 sticker. Through the like past 3.5, 4 months, I've been able to actually save some money, put some money into emergency fund, have like some emergency fund money aside for the business. So like there's my personal, and then there's some money aside for the business. And so I finally got to a point where I'm like caught up and like almost a little bit ahead. I still got all my debt that I got to work on. But so my point is that's a part of why I haven't done it yet, is to like get the extra change to make it happen. But I think it's pretty close at this point now that I've gotten myself some better footing. Yes, sir.
So do you offer a subscription service subscription service, a loyalty program, a referral program, those kind of things?
So I do have a subscription service, and it includes a service, so either interior or exterior or both, depending on which one you want to get done, every single month for almost effectively 50% off what it would have been full price. It's easier to clean a clean car than it is a dirty car, so like it helps save time, products less, stuff like that. It also includes enrollment in my elite membership, which gets you 20% off additional services. So if you wanted to add like say you scuffed your car while you're on that program, you get 20% off the polishing for that, or the headlight restoration. You can extend it to another vehicle in the household as well. The discount, not the recurring detail, but the 20% discount. It also includes 1 free emergency exterior car wash per month. So if you're in between services and you got a hot date, or the in-laws are coming into town or something, and you want the car to look right, you give me a ring, once I'll come wash it for free. So there's that.
Program.
Referral program, I don't have anything like quite exactly structured. I played with a couple ideas, like making a specific referral code, like your name 15, it gets the person you're referring 15% off. Every successful one gets you $20 credited to your account. I haven't really pushed that one. Right now, the referral, it's not really a referral program, but it's kind of just contingent on as long as I do my job well and provide a good service. If you refer me and you give that service for free to somebody else, that person is going to associate that value with you, the person that gave it to them. Yeah. But that's not structured. That's just like psychology.
Sometimes motivating themselves. And then lastly, do you have a loyalty program? So like get your car washed 9 times, get the 10th one free, something like that.
Not currently, no sir.
So that's something, a lot of companies do that. And one last thing. So do you know, I don't know if you guys follow Seth Godin. You know Seth Godin?
Yes.
Not off the top of my head.
So you should watch it on YouTube. So Seth Godin talks about people like us do things like this. So talk about avatars and stuff like that. So I was a stockbroker for a long time. So people are stockbrokers get their car washed, wherever. So that would be your avatar. People like us do things like that. So again, looking at your clients and seeing what those people look like. So, but I think if you implement a couple of these ideas, that might help a bit, so.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you very much. Hello.
Hello. Good to see you again.
Likewise.
Remember your last presentation, and I was impressed with your marketing, your ability to put it on screen.
Thank you.
So I'm Barbara Dawson with Purple Mulch. And my question to you, you've got the numbers, you've got those details, you've got the percentages. So you said you're going to offer 100 people a free car wash. Of how many of those do you think you will convert to a yes?
I don't know. We'll see. It's almost harder to give stuff away for free than it is to sell. Not all of them, but my thing is we offer it 100 times, and like as I'm doing it, I'll figure out how to offer it better, how to communicate it better. What are the points that people do convert, and then just repeat those. And if they're not converting, take parts out. I think I'll have a higher conversion rate of selling a service after I've performed the free one than I will have a conversion rate of giving it away for free. Does that make sense? I think I'll have a higher conversion rate in the second step than I will the first. Okay. I don't know, but that's what I think.
And I hear you that once they've seen what you do, you're going to have a higher conversion rate of getting them to do a paid service, right?
Yeah, that's my hypothesis. I think that'll be what we see.
Okay. So let's just make it up. Let's suppose you offer it to 100 people. Give me a number. How many do you think would say, sure, come wash my car?
I'd say 50%.
Okay, 50%. What if you could improve the conversion rate of that first 100? What would that do for you?
Yeah, well, so I love where you're going, because I played with some of these numbers with my friend. Yeah, so like, let's say if it was 50% conversion rate on the first offer, and then let's assume like I don't know, 30%. I'm not that good at the numbers, but if we improve one by like a little bit and the other one stays the same, then we're going to make more revenue, right? We net more revenue.
Exactly. So I'm saying, what if we take that 50% and could move it up to 60?
Yeah.
Okay. In where I come from, it's how you present to those 100 is going to make the difference for you. What do you think people's biggest, those that you've talked to so far, and they've said, no, don't wash my car, even for free, no. What do you think is what's their barrier? What are they afraid of? Why are they saying no? Do you have any idea?
I think people said no earlier on because they had no reason to believe me, right? Like they new business, no reviews, or maybe a couple. People tend to I'm nice enough to people that people took chances on me. They're like, you're a cool kid, sure. But now that I spent some time in building certain things up, like the reviews and my social media. So I didn't answer your question about if I have a binder. I don't, but I do have stuff on social media with before and afters that I can share that way. Now that I have some time under my belt and some more proof, it's easier for people to say no. But the thing is even though they're not paying money, they're still paying time, and they're still having to extend trust, which is kind of like a cost. You know what I mean? So I think that those are kinds of things that people would say no if it's they're going to be spending their time, right? Because even though it's minimal on their part, it's still time out of their day. And do they trust me enough? Do they believe me enough that it's going to work? So I think that's maybe part of people's hesitation.
So my suggestion would be keep those ideas in your mind as you approach people. Know that, if I was you and I was approaching you and I said, can I do your car for free? And you said, no, and even in your offer to say, a lot of people will tell me no because it's going to take time, or also you have nothing, you don't know me, you don't necessarily trust me, or either one of those true for you, and get that engagement.
I love that.
So that you're handling the objection before it ever shows up.
Yeah.
And then you make it to that 60% or 70% or 90%. And then you've got more people saying yes.
Yes, ma'am. I love that.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Erin Fraser, you have a question online?
Yes, hi, good morning. So I'm looking at your website right now, and so the ceramic coating, 7 years of shine, protection, and convenience. Do you can do that in someone's driveway?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, if you look at my social media, I just did one on a like a 23 C8 Corvette just last week.
Okay, and very much, I have a friend who's trying to sell his car and needs this done, but our homeowners association doesn't allow cars to be washed in the driveway. So what do you do?
So like in that, if we're not allowed to detail there, then I would coordinate with I mean, it's contingent on the customer letting me know, because if I don't know, I would show up at their house and wash, and then if somebody was like, hey, you can't wash here, that actually happened to me recently, but then they were like, you're cool, go ahead, keep doing it. If let's say we're in a detail and they're like, you can't wash here, it's like, okay, no problem, I'll tear down. I didn't know, thank you for letting me know. Connect with the client and then reschedule. But if I was aware of that, then like the client already knows they can't do it there. So it's like, okay, where can we do it? Can we do it at your office when you're at work? Or are you going to go run errands or spend some time out with the family this weekend and you can drop your car off or I can meet you wherever. That's the nice thing about being mobile. I can do it in a parking lot anywhere. I've worked outside of Home Depot. I've worked in Tanauan. I've worked up on the mountain. I've worked on the other side of the mountain, like all in Rio Rancho. Yesterday I was at a house that was next door to the Walter White House. So like we would, I guess it would just be flexible and handle it case by case is a more succinct answer.
Okay, thank you. Because I think you can get him more money for his car, right? If it's clean when he tries to trade it in. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah. And in cases like that, I wouldn't necessarily advise like, I mean, I will do it, but I would advise my customers if they're going to sell it, I wouldn't necessarily advise the like top tier exterior detail. Because the point with that is to have a wash that lasts a really long time. Like most common feedback I get is at least 4 weeks, even up to 6+ weeks. I've had customers tell me like, it's been this long and my car still looks amazing. So that one's great, especially for people who are going to hold on to their car. But if they could save like $70 and just get the exterior washed, I'd let them know that that's an option as well. Because it would look really good, but they're not paying the extra 75 for the longevity that they're going to go sell to some, like, unless they wanted to use it as a marketing like for their vehicle. But usually, especially on like a person-to-person sale, private sale, people are like, that's cool, but like I don't know if that's true. So like they don't value it. The buyer doesn't necessarily value it as much.
Sorry, I don't know if you. No, it's good. And I don't know if you're aware. So I mean, I have a Mini, and they have events every third Saturday of the month. It's called Wheels and Coffee. Mm-hmm. So definitely, Mini owners are maybe your demographic because we love our cars. So
yeah, I would love. So you said it's on Thursdays?
Saturday, third Saturday of every month. People show up and then drive around in their Minis. So
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I do participate with Russ's Gold, who I mentioned last time. I was wearing their hat last time, and they do a Cars and Coffee, but they do it like they just released their dates, I think, from like March to October. And so yeah, it is a really good opportunity, and that's how I like got my first clients. Really, was either talking to friends and family or through a Cars and Coffee event. So really important.
We have time for one more question, and there's at least 4 in the queue. So I'm gonna let you pick one of these two, or Sue Plasny online, or
okay. So yeah, that's really hard. So here's what I want to do: is who has a question or an insight around my plan that I presented, specifically on like maybe how I'm gonna fail with this plan.
You guys can.
Okay.
You guys can talk after.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So let's do one online. That's a fair point, Lisa. Let's do one online. All right,
Sue. Sue, come on up.
Hi, good morning. So this was my thought. My neighbor restores cars as well as repairs them. I mean, he'll do everything from restoring these beautiful Corvettes to fixing a little dent in my car. Would that be the kind of person or persons that you could be like adjacent to? So once he's restored this vehicle, you come in and you make it all pretty.
Yeah. So the hard part, a little bit of the hard part with like the Cars and Coffee, and in that case is that those types of people care about cars and they like to spend time with their car. So the convenience of me coming in doing it doesn't tend to be like a huge advantage for them as it does for somebody who's super, super busy. They like their car, but they don't want to spend the time on it. Right. So it is an opportunity. the ways that I've seen it being an opportunity is if they want to, so like your friend, if he would rather work on it and not clean it, I could be a value add for him. But if he likes doing the whole process, I don't know that I'd be a value add, at least for like selling. But there's some offers that I've been playing with for like car dealerships or somebody like your friend, where it's like, hey, you restore the car. If you sell it to somebody local, you can include a free exterior detail, because this is an offer that I already have out. So I just pair my already existing offer with their product. And so that's a value add to their client. It doesn't cost that person anything. And I come out and then it's just, I just take the customer through the same process of like letting them know other ways.
Great idea. That's a great offer. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that point.
Santia, I'm not going to ask you the green or red pipe.
Oh, that was now? I thought that was earlier.
No.
I'm so sorry. I thought that came first.
No, it's okay. And I think we know what it is that you need the community to do for you today, but ask it again, and then you guys can mingle with him after. Hopefully you can hang out for a little bit.
Yeah, I'll be here for a little while. I mean, the main thing, like you said, was of what I've presented so far, how am I going to fail? Of what you guys have experienced as entrepreneurs, how is this going to fail? If you can point that out to me, so I can start working on it before I fail at that. But also, I'll be around and open to everything else too. So thank you so much for being here, guys. Thank you, Fat Pipe. Thank you, 1 Million Cups. Thank you to the organizers as well. You guys are amazing.
Come on up, Marty. Marty's here in person this week to tell you about her event.
All right.
So.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. So a number of you have gotten emails if I had your direct email about this, but I have been hosting story sharing gatherings about objects like the beautiful necklace that this woman has on, and earrings, and things that people who passed away and left behind that you hold on to that have sentiment and a story. And so when I was here a month and a half ago or something, Lisa offered a space. I'm trying a new thing, a beta testing or a pilot called Our Community in 30 Things. And right now we sadly only have 6 people who've signed up so far. So I'm really looking for, I don't know if we're going to get 30, but at least if we got 15 people, then everybody could bring 2 objects. And keep in mind, the objects, they're not of financial or monetary. They don't have to be family heirlooms. Realistically, everything that like coats, hats, your shoes, the bandana, the hat that you have on, everything has a story. It doesn't have to be an epic story. And as I mentioned, it's a unique way for people to get to know you in a different way that allows them to open up their mind to what you actually, other things like what you do. Like it gives them a little window into your life. So see it as a way to market yourself. Lisa has offered, and Fat Pipe has offered, that we end up using space over here, right underneath her grandfather's, right? The smoke shop sign. Already she has the story of that sign right there underneath it. So we won't have your story written underneath it, but we'll have an event before I take off to the East Coast again. We'll have an event where you get a chance to tell your story in front of other people. So yes, questions?
Paid time of your event?
So that is a little flexible because we didn't get as many signups as we were hoping right yet. So we're gonna give it another like 2 weeks of trying to like really get people and think of your other networking places as well, Barbara and Dr. Norm as well. Your other networking people. I'm reaching out to other networking events to bring this in because it's a way to build this community as well. So think of them and to join us. So Barbara, to answer your question, I think that we move it another like week or two. So it would be mid-March if that works with Lisa instead of the end of February.
Right now it's scheduled for February 22nd.
22nd, but I think we'll need a little bit more time. So it would be the first week in March or something like that, second week. So please talk to me afterwards if you're interested.
You explain it a lot better than I do. All right, if anybody wants a copy of this list, email me at lisa@falpipebq.com. Activate NM is starting back up their drop-in mentoring for entrepreneurs. I think it's online actually, January 26th. Founders Syndicate Mixer, and they're back online, and she sends me events. They have a mixer at Bow and Arrow Brewery on January 30th. This one is something that people in this community asked me for. Someone came up and asked me to do an accounting workshop in lieu of 1 Million Cups on a Wednesday. Kaufman won't allow me to do that, but I did find a CPA who's willing to teach a workshop. She's actually amazing. She's more than a bookkeeper. She is a certified CPA who knows QuickBooks, which I don't know if any of you have high-end CPAs like at REDW or Baca Howard, but none of the high-end professionals know how to use the tools that we have to run our businesses. Karma Welchel does. She's amazing. She helps me with my businesses, and she has agreed to teach a workshop next Thursday, February 1st, I think it is. Yeah, February 1st, we're going to hold it at the Bioscience Center in our larger conference room. So please sign up for that if you're interested in attending. It did get shared with the BNI group, so we may have to cut off registration. So register if you really want to come, because I may have to stick to a list this time. And then Barbara, your Real Talk, Real Results, Mastering the Sales Cycle, 4-month series. So we'll be in month 3. And that's Wednesday, February 7th, right here at Falpi BBQ. There's a link to register. I was asked to share this. NMSU Arrowhead Center is accepting applications for the final cohort of the SERG Clean Energy Resilience and Growth Initiative. So you can follow that link and learn more. I tried to look at it quickly last night, and I didn't see a deadline for that application, but I'm sure if you scoured their website a little bit more, you would find it. And just a reminder that our 1 Million Cups are being replayed on Catharsis Media. And they're going to be on Wednesdays at noon, and they also have a link that you can watch them online. So I think they probably do a great job of editing these events. And so if you've presented in the last few months, likely is that your presentation will be displayed on TV and you can share it with your friends. So figure it out. Anybody else have a quick event they need to announce? Come on up.
All right, Miriam Ortiz-Pino, More Than Organized. I'm running a Streamline Your Life workshop series. It's 14 weeks starting February 7th. Details are right here if you want to learn. It's every room in your house. And I will be doing my house along with my clients. So it could be interesting. It could be embarrassing. I don't know. Hi, Deanna Vincent, Dry Heat Photography. This is going to be about a month out, but next month, February 21st, directly after this meeting.
And your presentation.
Yes, I'm presenting that day too, but that can't be a pitch and this can. So right after 1 Million Cups, I'm having a headshot mini session event here. It'll be in the back. And so it's 15-minute sessions, really quick and easy. It's $69 and you walk away with about 4 to 5 fully retouched high-res images that you can use in your marketing, your social media, your business cards, whatever you need them for. And it's very important, okay? Because just remember your headshot speaks for you when you're not there to speak for yourself. And I always say this, guys, that's not a headshot, okay? So, don't let that be your headshot.
My car.
I'm sorry?
We do have my car. I always like to have a professional image of me with a seatbelt.
If you could have your Dre Beats headphones on too.
Yes.
That'd be great. So the link for that is currently up on the Fat Pipe website, and I'll be sharing it out as well. You can get with me to reserve your time. And I hope to see you guys there.
I'll add it to the list next week. I'm sorry, I forgot that.
Anybody else?
Hello, everyone, and I mean with Hope Transitions. So I want to invite everyone for February the 16th, is a Friday from 1 to 4. It's a 3-hour workshop. If you want to know the tools on how to thrive in a stressful environment, come and join me in the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce. Friday, the 16th, February the 16th, from 1 to 4. Don't miss it. You won't regret it.
Nice.
See you there.
I'll need to know more about that. Yeah, stressful, mostly self-inflicted. So I wanted to invite you. I am hosting a show and tales, or things that matter, called Tales, Paws, Beaks, and Claws, virtually. For Greenwood Cemetery out in Brooklyn, New York. I've been hosting for the last 2 years. I've been hosting these events, but it's open to anyone. It's going to be 4:30 to 6 Mountain Time, and that is February 5th. So the evening or late afternoon for you. So come join and share stories about your pets.
And reminder, the Small Business Resource Fair is Monday, February 5th. Gotcha. February 5th. Holiday Park Community Center, 11710 Comanche Northeast. I believe this one's going to be bigger than the last because if you would like a free table, please let me know. But there is a wait list now. And plus we have more of our local businesses that are involved. And we have more of the city agencies that will be there as well. So it will be a nice event just to come by, talk to other individuals about the event.
How many people do you expect to be in attendance?
In attendance, a couple hundred, roughly, somewhere in there. 4 to 7.
So it's 11 to 7 before, you said 5 to 7.
4 to 7.
4 to 7.
4 to 7?
Correct. 4 to 7 p.m. Sorry. Cool. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. No, your turn.
Okay, guys. I mean, Santiago's got me in a quantitative frame of mind. So I was thinking when I was hearing about show and tales that's going to be here, it looked like Danielle and I were both going to have to bring in 15 things. And now we have 6 people, so we're each going to bring in 5 things. Can we get it down to 1? Come on, I know there's good stories out there, you know, and we're talking about Million Cups is for revealing things about yourself that assist in your public persona that other people don't know immediately by looking at you, right? And, you know, I have a lot of stories about that. I'm looking forward to talking about my object. This is a way to tell people who you are when you're not up here with a slide deck. So please take advantage of that, pitch in. And go ahead, grab it.
So I forgot.
Come over here. They can't see you all night. You got to stay near the star.
To the star. I also wanted to say, I understand that some people wouldn't want to bring in the actual physical object because it's precious and it's not a museum here. The stuff is going to be out here. So I've spoken to Deanna about the possibility, it's not going to happen today, obviously, but the possibility that if you want to participate, but you don't want to actually bring the physical object with you, we'll set up a time to have the objects photographed. And we'll have the photograph for the display, but then we'd ask you to bring the actual object with you for the event. Anything?
That's what I was going to say, right? So they're going to bring it for
the event.
Then photograph it so as the display goes on.
As the display. Exactly, because we realized, I was like, Deanna, bring your camera. She's no. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, another solution to that problem is bringing a piece of worthless junk that means something to you, but nobody would steal it, right? That's what I'm going to do. So that's the great approach. Go ahead, take it. It's not worth anything. Put it on eBay. So I can't think of a meeting that was as productive as the response to your presentation. I mean, we got right down to business right away. And I think if this were a classroom, you are a case study. And I want to thank everybody for how well they contributed to you. Thank you. I'll see you all next week and do something useful for entrepreneurship in New Mexico between now and next Wednesday. Thank you.